Welcome to the light of joy. I'll start with a difficult truth. We've created a world that speaks endlessly of self confidence, but whispers nothing of responsibility. We praise self worth, but ignore self accountability. We scream for empowerment, but do not demand earning it. Today's episode is not about how to feel better, it's about why many people aren't getting better at all. When a society loses the threat of personal responsibility, every achievement becomes shallow. We begin mistaking external validation for internal growth, and image for identity. Without responsibility, all we have are masks, filters, slogans, and appearances. But who are we without effort? Who are we when no one's watching? The light of joy dares to pull the curtain back. So today, I'm not here to soothe you. I'm here to wake something up inside you. Something ancient. Something often forgotten. Your capacity to carry weight. Because your strength doesn't come from what you avoid, it comes from what you carry. In today's culture, we are told that we are enough just the way we are. But let me ask you, enough for what? Enough to meet obligations? Enough to serve? To grow? To contribute meaningfully? Confidence without competence and responsibility is just noise. And unfortunately, we are raising a generation that wants to feel good while refusing to do good. This has created a new type of failure, one that is not due to lack of opportunity, but from the refusal to take ownership of oneself. We confuse self love with self indulgence. We are told to affirm ourselves daily, to drown out all criticism, to defend our choices no matter how misaligned they are with reality. That's not confidence, that's cowardice wrapped in hashtags. True confidence is born from showing up for your responsibilities, not escaping from them. And here's what's worse: shallow confidence creates fragile people. You cannot build resilience when you've never allowed yourself to be wrong. You can't grow if your first instinct is to deflect blame. So, what we see is a culture full of people who break down when life gets real because they've never been taught to build themselves up through adversity. Let's be blunt. Irresponsible people become replaceable. Why? Because they want more money, more ease, more energy, but they don't want to become the kind of person who creates those outcomes. They desire results without behaviors, wishes without work, expectations without evolution. So they stay in low skill, repetitive, primitive jobs. Jobs that AI will inevitably replace. And when that happens, they will blame society, technology, even capitalism, anyone but themselves. Because to be responsible would mean admitting, I didn't prepare, I did not adapt, and I did not care until it was too late. Responsibility requires you to anticipate change, to keep learning, to be aware of how valuable or valueless your current contribution is becoming. But irresponsibility is allergic to foresight. It traps people in the present moment, making them blind to the future. And when the future arrives, they are unarmed, unready, and often bitter. What's tragic is not that AI will take their jobs, it's that these people never asked, what else can I offer that machines can't? Creativity, leadership, discernment. These are the skills built on responsibility, not memorized, not copied, but built. Without that foundation, no amount of resume tips will save you from obsolescence. You might think schools are shaping minds, but in many cases, they are numbing them. They teach students to obey instructions, not to take initiative. They measure memory, not moral reasoning. They tell children to study for grades, not for meaning. And when it comes to success, schools teach a narrow, almost cruel message. To be successful, you need to work hard and struggle. No! To be successful, you must become responsible. Responsible for your thoughts, responsible for your choices, responsible for your growth, and everything else. Because hard work without responsibility is just exhaustion. Struggle without direction is just suffering. We've created institutions and allowed for these institutions to be created that measure performance but ignore character. Where is the exam that tests integrity? Where is the curriculum for perseverance, honesty, or self discipline? Students learn how to pass, not how to persist. They graduate with degrees, but no direction. Even worse, schools punish failure more than they encourage experimentation. So instead of becoming risk takers, students become rule followers. Instead of becoming thinkers, they become test takers. And when these students grow up, they're often unprepared to face a world that rewards depth, not compliance. Irresponsibility creates adults who make decisions like unsupervised toddlers. They react, not respond. They chase short term pleasure, ignore long term cost. They confuse impulse with freedom. And the most interesting part? They are surprised when their lives fall apart again. In fact, some decisions made today are so detached from reason that if you gave a dart to a chimpanzee and asked to choose, it might do just as well on a dartboard. And that's not an exaggeration, really. It's an indictment of what happens when we let our cognitive faculties rust in silence. True maturity means living beyond the moment. But for the irresponsible, every moment becomes the only one that matters. So they spend money without thinking about next month. They quit jobs without preparing for the consequences. They end relationships on a whim and call it self-care. And when things unravel, they look for someone else to blame. That kind of existence is not adulthood. It's extended childhood wearing adult clothing. And our culture is enabling it. With slogans like, follow your heart and you deserve it. We are selling emotional sugar to minds that need protein, discipline, delay, reflection. That's what responsibility teaches. Irresponsibility is not just a character flaw. It is a cognitive blockade. It suppresses critical thinking. It shrinks attention spans. It clouds judgment with excuses. Once you normalize being unaccountable, you stop asking, is this the right choice? What are the consequences? What role did I play? Instead, you ask, why is this happening to me? Whose fault is it? You become a character in a story you no longer write. Critical thinking begins with self-questioning. If you cannot interrogate your own actions, you cannot examine the world. Responsibility sharpens your mind because it forces you to think, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? It turns pain into perspective. Without it, thinking becomes reactionary, lazy, political, and most of the time shallow. The more irresponsible a society becomes, the more absurd its logic gets. We begin excusing irrational behavior with emotional slogans. We debate feelings, not facts. We prioritize comfort over truth. But real thought, mature, disciplined, structured thought, needs friction, and friction requires the weight of responsibility. Here's the final point, and perhaps the most alarming one. Irresponsibility is the gateway to criminality. Because when you remove self-accountability, you remove guilt. And without guilt, all that's left is impulse. Criminals don't always plan. Many just react. They say things like, I needed the money. They disrespected me. I had no choice. But if you analyze their logic, you'll find there is no logic. Only unprocessed emotion, warped justifications, and an inability to delay gratification. Why? Because no one ever taught them to take responsibility, not even for their own mind. Crime is often portrayed as a sudden moral collapse, but more often, it's the final step in a long pattern of small, irresponsible decisions. Skipping education, lying to loved ones, spending without earning, avoiding hard work. Over time, this creates a mindset where consequences feel optional, and that is dangerous. And let's be clear, many criminals don't feel evil, they feel entitled. They've built a worldview where everyone else is the problem. And when they are caught, they struggle to articulate why they did what they did because they weren't thinking. They were reacting. Responsibility could have saved them, but no one taught them how. So, here's what I'll leave you with. You can't be free if you are not responsible. You can't be wise if you are not responsible. And you will never create a better life or a better world until responsibility becomes your default mode of existence. Responsibility is not punishment, it is the foundation of dignity. This was the light of joy. And in a world full of blame, this podcast asks you not to feel better, but to be better. Until next time, stand up, look in the mirror, and take responsibility for what you see.